Good afternoon, America. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own noodles from scratch. This could come in handy. You could have some gourmet noodles for dirt cheap. So we're going to need eggs, flour, salt, and the equipment we're going to need a knife, a rolling pin, cutting board, and something to boil them in. This is a pretty simple ratio we got here. You're going to need 1 egg per cup of flour and a little bit of water to go with. I'll show you how to get a good consistency. So being that I want to make 4 cups of flour, I'm going to need 4 eggs today. So you add the eggs to the flour, then you start mixing them up. You can do this with a fork. We don't need anything fancy here. This ain't no fancy cooking show. This is just how you make more with less. After mixing up the eggs, add a little bit of water. Now we gotta add a little bit at a time, but if we add too much, no problem. We could always correct with adding more flour. And after you get some clumps of dough in there after adding a little bit of flour, it's time to get your hands dirty. You gotta get them in there and you gotta knead it in real good. I'm gonna take care of that and I'll be right back. Now at this point, you just keep working it in. It should be fairly firm, not too sticky, and you just keep working in that flour as you see here. There we go. Now you just see we just need to keep squeezing it, kneading it, and just keep working it in. Yep, just get that flour in. It ain't rocket science. Once you get it nice and firm, you can start rolling it in. Now really pack the flour in real tight. We're going to keep this dough as tight as possible because that'll make it easier to cut and boil, and we don't want it to stick to anything. Next, we're going to start using the back of a fork to cut it on the table. Forget it. We'll just use a good old knife. We're going to cut it into sheets like this. That way we can roll it on the cutting board and then cut it into noodles. Now once you get a bunch of cutting board size sheets of flour, you can barely see because it doesn't contrast too much with the wood. You can just start taking a good sharp knife and just cutting your strips. If you have a cookie cutter, you can do that too. The other thing is with a cookie cutter, they tend to stick and it's a pain to deal with. This is much quicker. And as you can see, these are going to make some nice beefy noodles. These will look real good. Butter, beef fat, no matter what, turns out great. Now after getting the noodles cut, throw some salt in the water, let it get nice and salty, start boiling it. It'll take a couple of minutes to get ready. Then I'll show you how to take care of the noodles. All right, now as the water starts heating up, I'm gonna start throwing some of these noodles in. And I cut these up a bit smaller so we can stretch them out some more. I'm gonna be using these in halushki. Halushki, who doesn't love cabbage and buttery noodles? Dinner of champions on a budget. Now, when you see these noodles start floating to the top, that is how you will know that they are ready to start scooping out. See a couple there starting to move. Now look at that. Give another minute since this water's still warming up. So here you go, a big bowl of noodles. Now check it out how thick these things came out. Yeah, I'd say it's about a 1/4 inch thick, give or take. Nice and chewy and delightful. Now what's great is you can do whatever you want with these. You can throw them in chicken noodle soup. You can make another stew, another whatever. Your imagination is the limit. Now these particular noodles, I'm going to use them to make halushki today. It's going to be mighty delicious. I'm going to leave a few extra plain for the kids to enjoy because they're not fans of cabbage. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me today in my kitchen and learning how to do something yourself. Because you got to remember, you're an American, not Americant. So learn something, do something, and that is all. Good day.